Okay. Okay. All right, there we go. It's working. All right. All right. Welcome to episode 632 of the Black Brain Trust Space and Technology. I'm going to talk a little bit about moon telescopes and Virgin Orbit and some Apple news and has a bunch of stuff on the docket. So we're going to talk about some items here. You guys, pardon me. I know I scheduled it early, and then some things happened. Trying to make business stuff. It's also Martin Luther King uh, Memorial Day. So I got up this morning, woke my daughter up from school, didn't even realize it. She was just like, "Dude, why are you waking me up? I don't have school today." I felt like a total ass. I totally woke her up for school. She's like, "I don't have school today, dummy." Oh man. So so yeah, and then it's we're already towards the end of January, and New Year's upon us. Type of business that we're in, it's micro transport. We got a shop down in Southern California in the Venice Beach, LA area. The weather was in the 80s and 90s. Okay, late last weekend, over the weekend, business shot up out of nowhere. And you want to try to just kind of be prepared, even with all this uncertainty, right? So it's been a lot of emails and phone calls and pushing live streams back and then kind of canceling them all together. And so bear with me, guys. Bear with me. So anywho, let's get into the first article here. And if you guys can hear everything okay, can you, I don't even know if anyone's here. If you can hear this, press 1 if there's anyone there. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up the first article. And this is from Scientific American. Telescopes on far side of the moon could illuminate the cosmic dark ages. Instruments deployed on missions to the lunar far side might give us an unprecedented view of the early universe. On the far side of the moon, that's actually a Pink Floyd album. Far side of the moon. On the far side of the moon is poised. The far side of the moon is poised to become our newest and best window on the hidden history of the cosmos. Over the course of the next decade, astronomers are planning to perform unprecedented observations of the early. Oh wait, hold on a second. Of the early universe from that unique lunar perch using radio telescopes deployed on a generation of orbiters and robotic rovers. These instruments will study the universe's initial 500 million years, the first few hundred million or so of which make up the so-called cosmic dark ages, when stars and galaxies had yet to form. Bereft of starlight, this era is invisible to optical observations. Give me a second. I don't think I had this queued up right. Hold on. Wait, there we go. All right, there we go. Okay. And whoop. There we go. All right. These instruments will study the universe. Okay. Okay. Radio telescopes, however, can tune into long wavelength, low frequency radio emissions produced by the gigantic clouds of neutral hydrogen that filled the universe. But these emissions are difficult, if not downright impossible, to detect from Earth because they are either blocked or distorted by our planet's atmosphere or swamped by human-generated radio noise. Scientists have dreamed for decades of such studies that could take place on the moon's far side, where they would be shielded from earthly transmissions and untroubled by any significant atmosphere to impede cosmic views. Now, with multiple space agencies pursuing lunar missions, those dreams are set to become a reality. If I were to design an ideal place to do low frequency radio astronomy, I would have to build the moon. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. If I were to design an ideal place to do low frequency radio astronomy, I would have to build the moon. There's always been some thought that the moon was artificial to begin with. I don't want to digress though, says astrophysicist Jack Burns of the University of Colorado Boulder. We're just now finally getting to the place where we're actually going to be putting these telescopes down on the moon in the next few years. The idea that telescopes could even detect neutral hydrogen goes back to the 1940s when Dutch astronomer Hendrik Christoffel van de Hulst, jeez, uh, predicted that hydrogen atoms can spontaneously emit pulses of electromagnetic radiation. This happens because each atom of hydrogen can flip between two energy states, emitting or absorbing radiation at a wavelength of 21 centimeters or a frequency of 1,420 megahertz. Such emissions are the heartbeat of hydrogen and can add up to detectable signals when clouds of gas accumulate on cosmic scales. Such signals would have first emerged about 380,000 years ago after the Big Bang, when the universe cooled enough for protons and electrons that previously filled space to coalesce into atoms of hydrogen. Besides forming the raw materials from which all subsequent objects would arise, this event had the added benefit of making the universe essentially transparent rather than opaque, liberating the fossil radiation produced by the Big Bang to stream through the cosmos. We now see this radiation, the Big Bang's afterglow, as a cosmic microwave background, or CMB. Thereafter, neutral hydrogen pervaded the dark universe for perhaps 100 million years until the break of the cosmic dawn, when the first stars and galaxies began to shine. Cosmologists are particularly interested in the Dark Ages because they offer a glimpse of the universe when it was relatively pristine, free of confounding astrophysical effects. Back then, the distribution of neutral hydrogen still carried the imprints of primordial quantum fluctuations that had been profoundly magnified by the universe's rapid expansion in the first fractions of a second of its history, unsullied by the emergence of stars, galaxies, and galaxy clusters. So they're just basically talking about like literally the seconds after the supposed Big Bang. I'm saying supposed, right? Because the whole point is to put telescopes on the moon to confirm all this shit, right? So what they're saying though is that like being able to do this, you'd be able to detect all this stuff when it happened right after the Big Bang happened, before all the shit. I mean, the stuff that came after it, which clouds. Oh, I just read it. Okay, all right. It's a playground for testing cosmology. Okay, in short, that's what the hell I'm trying to say right there. The very first radio telescopes on and around the far side of the moon will be simple. They will gather little more than vague hints of the shadowy slice of otherwise unseen cosmic time. But as more sophisticated instrumentation comes online, the 21 centimeter signals will emerge in richer detail, allowing astronomers to create dynamic, high-resolution maps of hydrogen clouds. The nice thing about neutral... Jeez. The nice thing about neutral... okay, yeah. The nice thing about neutral hydrogen is that it's not just a snapshot in time like CMB, says Christian Zarb Adami of the University of Oxford. By tracking the fluctuating 21 centimeter signal over cosmic time, or 21 cm signal over cosmic time, telescopes can chart the evolution of early universe to the Dark Ages, all the way up to the cosmic dawn and even beyond. This is what I mean. They're talking like up until that very point. And they said even beyond. Well, okay, that's interesting. After the dawn comes the epoch of reionization, when the radiation from the first mass of stars and other violent astrophysical phenomena sufficiently heated the remaining neutral hydrogen to transform it back into plasma. That event ultimately extinguished the 21 cm signals. Some Pathfinder instruments are already in operation as part of the Chinese Chang'e E4 lander on the moon's far side and a lunar orbiter named Keikao, Keikao or Magpie Bridge, which relays signals from the lander to Earth. Keikao was launched in May 2018, and Chang'e 4 reached the lunar surface in January 2019. That was when that lunar rover, the Japanese lunar rover, reached uh, the moon in 2019. Hold on, man. This was supposed to be my jazz reading music. This is some soul, which I'm not mad at, but I need some jazziness. Yeah, there we go. That allows me to read a lot easier. Hold on, let me see who's in the chat. Oh shoot, what's going on, you guys? Welcome. Okay. Here, let me pull this back up here. All right. This is better. My brain can work easier. This was the first time there was a soft landing on the far side of the moon, says Bernard. Wait. Hold on. Shit. Here, let me do this. Let me stop for just a second. Make sure I got this right. Because something happened in my headphones and then I did something and then the sound was off. So let me start it all over, make sure I didn't screw anything up. Okay. All right. I think everything's okay. Can somebody push a 1 if everything is all good right about now? Just like push a 1 or something. Let's see here. Radio antennas will be carried by both Chang'e 4 and Keikao, but those on Keikao are only partially deployed, while Chang'e 4's single antenna is hindered by radio frequency interference, or RFI, coming from the lander's electronics. Future dark age surveying lunar spacecraft could include additional shielding to minimize RFI and could also deploy multiple antennas across tens or even hundreds of kilometers of lunar soil. The next preparatory phase for far-side astronomy, damn, that's a dope-ass term, far-side astronomy, is set to begin with the launch of ROLS's radio wave observations at the lunar surface of a photoelectron sheath on October of 2021. That's this year. ROLS's will travel to the moon within a privately developed lander licensed by NASA as part of the space agency's commercial lunar payload services program. Although it will touch down in the Oceanus Procellarum region of the moon's near side, ROLS's task of characterizing the RFI generated by lunar soil is crucial for work on the far side. This is real, says Burns, who is a member of the ROLS's team. I've been working on this for 35 years. It's actually happening. Shoot, I don't know if I was working on something for 35 years, man. I damn sure make sure it's going to happen. Yet another mission to characterize the RFI on the moon, the Lunar Surface Electromagnetic Experiment, the LUCY. I like how they come up with these names. Is slated to launch as early as 2024. Lucy is going to the far side. Dude, isn't there like a Beatles album? Holy, I'm having a hippie moment. There's a Beatles album called Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, which is basically like an acronym for LSD. Lucy is going to... All right, I'm out. Okay, let me shut up. It's going to go to Schrodinger's impact basin. Jeez. Here, let me post a link to this article. This is some way out shit stuff. I'm sorry. Let me wash my mouth. Yeah. Oh, wait. I should do that right there. Okay, everything's sounding good. All right, cool. There you go. Yeah, that was the article from Scientific American right there. That was some wild stuff, man. Okay. Wait. Oh, wait, there it goes. There you go. This is from BBC. Branson's Virgin rocket takes satellites into orbit. So, so far we've got SpaceX, right? We've got Blue Origin. Now, Virgin Orbit. Basically, they just successfully launched. So what they use is they use a 747 based rocket launch system to launch a rocket, and then the rocket takes like satellites and stuff up in orbit, and they just successfully did it. Let's see. 10 payloads in total were lofted on the same rocket, which was launched from the underwing of one of the entrepreneur's old 747 jumbos. So basically, they've taken old 747 Virgin Air planes, and then they retrofit them with this little fixture you see right here. And this rocket is on the bottom of this plane. It goes up, and then boom, it drops it. The rocket launches, goes up, and then shoots the payload into orbit. 10 payloads. Okay, yeah. Sir Richard is hoping to tap into what is a growing market for small, lower-cost satellites. By using a jet plane as a launch platform, he can theoretically send up spacecraft from anywhere in the world. Smart man. In reality, of course, his Virgin Orbit system has to be licensed in the locality where it is used. Well, you are launching a rocket from a 747, which at the moment is solely California. But there are well-advanced plans to bring the 747 and its rockets to Cornwall in southwest England. So this is where, okay, so currently what they do is they launch out of Mojave. So for those of you who don't know, and I for some time I lived kind of close to here. So Edwards Air Force Base is out here. Okay, so there's like launch sites here basically. Okay, so because there's a rocket strapped to this plane, it cannot launch from like a commercial airport or anything like that. It has to launch from like a base. So Edwards is here. Okay, they launch from here, go up in the air, boom, shoot the rocket off. It goes up, shoots the satellite into the sky, and then right off the coast of Long Beach, right over here, that looks like Catalina, right there. So right, just maybe southwest a little bit of Catalina Island, because no, this is Catalina, I think, right here. Okay, whatever the case may be. The rocket basically lands in the water right here. There you go. Sunday's success was a big fill up for Sir Richard's team, who had tried and failed to launch a rocket in May last year. Yeah, they did fail. It failed. That effort was thwarted by a breached propellant line feeding liquid oxygen to the booster's first stage. No such problems occurred this time. Modified 747 named Cosmic Girl. Ooh, nice name. Left its base in California's Mojave Desert at 10:50 Pacific Standard Time. That's my time. To fly out over the Pacific Ocean. That's what we were talking about right here. That's where I live. A little under 60 minutes later, and cruising at 35,000 feet, the jet banked hard to the right, dropping as it did so the 21-meter long rocket that had been clamped to its underside. Within seconds, the booster, called Launcher 1, had ignited its engines and was climbing into space. Pretty ingenious launch method, I may say so. Correct deployment of the various spacecraft on board at an altitude of roughly 500 kilometers was confirmed a couple of hours later. A new gateway to space has just sprung open, said Virgin Orbit CEO Dan Hart. That Launcher 1 was able to successfully reach orbit today is a testament to the team's talent, precision, drive, and ingenuity. I gotta tell you, like I said, it's a really good idea, man. You just strap a rocket to the bottom of the plane, let the plane take it up, and then just drop the rocket. And then it shoots up just for a little bit, and poof, there you go, dumps out the payload.
And all kidding aside,
There you go, right there. That's dope, man. That's dope. So there's Cosmic Girl over there. Here's Launcher One over here. This is the plane where they just kind of shot the picture from. So Richard has been trying to find the right solution to get into the satellite launch business since 2009. His concrete proposal was first put before the public at the Farnborough International Air Show 3 years later. There's an emerging market for small, low-cost spacecraft. What have we been saying this whole time? Whose developers are seeking more flexible and affordable ways of getting their assets above the Earth. Getting their assets above the Earth. Oh, I don't know why I found that funny. Virgin Orbit is one of a number of companies now racing to meet this demand. Other contenders include Rocket Lab Outfit, which sends up its vehicles from a ground launch pad in New Zealand. But there are tens of other small rocket startups at various stages of maturation, and some of these plan to operate from the UK as well. Virgin Orbit has achieved something many thought impossible. It was so inspiring to see our specially adapted Virgin Atlantic 747 Cosmic Girl send the Launcher One rocket soaring into orbit, Sir Richard said. This magnificent flight is the culmination of many years of hard work and will also unleash a whole new generation of innovators on the path to orbit. I can't wait to see the incredible missions Dan and the team will launch to change the world for good. Boom. Dang. Hold on 1 second here. Let me get this. All right, let me post this here. This is a cool mission for anyone interested in space, optics, and planetary protection. Ooh, good stuff. Good stuff, Jay. Appreciate you. Space aristocrats. Yeah, man. We've been talking about it. The privatization of space. You know, we're entering into a whole new era. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this one from Ars Technica. After a decade, NASA's big rocket fails its first real test. Womp womp. Darn. For a few moments, it seemed like the Space Launch System saga might have a happy ending. Beneath brilliant blue skies late on Saturday afternoon, NASA's huge rocket roared to life for the very first time. As its four engines lit and thrummed, thunder rumbled across the Mississippi lowlands. A giant, beautiful plume of white exhaust billowed away from the test stand. It was all pretty damn glorious until it stopped suddenly. About 50 seconds into what was supposed to be an 8-minute test firing, the Flight Control Center called out, "We did get an MCF, a major communication failure." That's MCF on engine 4. This means there was major component failure. My bad. Major component failure with the fourth engine on the vehicle. After a total of about 67 seconds, a hot fire test ended. During a post-flight news conference held outside near the test stand, officials offered few details about what had gone wrong. We don't know what we don't know. Okay, that goes without saying, said NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine. It's not everything we hoped it would be. Okay, so basically, we don't know what the fuck happened. He and NASA's program manager for the SLS rocket, John Honeycutt, sought to put a positive spin on the day. They explained that this is why spaceflight hardware is tested. They expressed confidence that this was still the rocket that would launch the Orion spacecraft around the moon. And yet, it is difficult to say what happened Saturday is anything but a bitter disappointment. This rocket core stage was moved to Stennis from its factory in nearby Louisiana more than 1 calendar year ago. Months of preparations for this critical test firing. Honeycutt said before the test and then afterward that NASA had been hoping to get 250 seconds worth of data. 250 seconds. If not, if not fire the rocket for the entire duration of its nominal ascent to space. Instead, it got a quarter of that. So it got basically a quarter of 250 seconds. I don't want to think about it right now, what that is. Perhaps the most intriguing, Honeycutt said the engine problem cropped up about 60 seconds into the test at one of its most dynamic moments. This was when the engines were throttling down from 109% of nominal thrust to 95%, Honeycutt said. And it is also when they began to gimbal or move their axis thrust. At approximately 60 seconds, engineers noticed a flash in the area of thermal protection blanket around engine 4. Now, I want to say that was something that's been responsible for a couple of the space shuttle snafus, let's just call it. Something about thermal protection blankets. Honeycutt said the engine section is one of the most complex parts of the core stage, and each of the 4 main engines has thermal protection to limit heating from other engines. Now, engineers from NASA, Boeing, and the engine manufacturer Aerojet Rocketdyne will study data from the test to determine what exactly went wrong. It's not clear how long this will take or what problems will need to be fixed. If there is a serious problem with engine 4, it could be swapped out. Well, you had a failed test because of it. NASA has spare RS-25 engines at Stennis, including backups that are tested and ready, Honeycutt said. Such an engine swap could occur on the test stand itself over the course of a week or 10 days. The key question is whether another hot fire test will be required. I think so. Bridenstine, whose tenure as NASA administrator will end next Wednesday, said it was too early to determine what will happen. He expressed hope that some straightforward problem might be found. Even so, it seems unlikely NASA has enough data from this test to avoid conducting another hot fire test, which would likely require weeks to months of setup time. I mean, it seems as though, man, like SpaceX and all these other guys, maybe you should just go ahead and just let them do it. I don't know. All of this casts very serious doubt on NASA's plans to launch its Artemis 1. Oh, that's why. That's why. An uncrewed precursor mission to sending humans to the moon. That's right. Yeah. Before the end of this year. Already, the program was on a tight deadline, needing to ship the core stage from Stennis Space Center to Kennedy Space Center in Florida in February to retain any possibility of launching in 2021. That now seems all but impossible. The future of NASA's Space Launch System rocket is not clear. The incoming Biden administration has not released any detailed plans for the space agency. The big rocket support has always come from Congress, however, and not the White House. Congress created the booster a decade ago when the Obama administration wanted to rely more on private companies to provide launch vehicles. The original deal was cut between 2 senators, Bill Nelson of Florida and Kay Bailey Hutchison of Texas, but they are both now out of office. In recent years, Alabama Senator Richard Shelby, who chairs the powerful Appropriations Committee, has emerged as the rocket's most potent backer, of course. It's from Alabama. There's a lot of manufacturing goes on there. This is not a surprise given that the rocket is designed and managed at Marshall Space Flight Center in northern Alabama. Doy. However, with Democrats taking a narrow majority in the Senate, Shelby had lost his chair in the upcoming session of Congress. Although he will retain considerable say, he will no longer be able to effectively dictate NASA's budget. Uh-oh. That probably makes sense now why they said this up here. When dude was going out, he was like, we're not sure. We're not sure if we should even mess around and try to do it. And we don't know if we have the money. Wait. The SLS has also enjoyed ample support from Alabama delegation of the House, but they too have recently lost some of their clout. Perhaps the most outspoken House backer for the rocket was Alabama Congressman Mo Brooks, but he has gained a measure of infamy for speaking at the pro-Trump rally on January 6th, helping to incite riot. Oh shit. Okay, I don't want to say certain words to trigger anything, but yeah, you guys know what happened over there at that like the uppercase building, not the lowercase one, but the uppercase one. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. As Brooks spread misinformation about the election, he said, "Today is the day Americans start taking down names and kicking ass." Okay, I thought it was you kick ass and then you take names. I always understood that you kick the ass first, then you take the names. You don't write the name down and you go Sean Edmondson, great, and then you kick his ass. All around Alabama's 7 U.S. representatives, 6 are Republicans. All of them, including Brooks, voted to overturn the election results on the Okay, all right. I'm gonna just stop there because we went down that slope, and yeah, here we go. All right, there's the link to Ars Technica, and what I want to do is get through a few links. I wasn't sure how much time I was going to have to maybe do a panel and stuff, but it's looking like I'll have a little bit of time. So I'll kind of read through these. If people want to come on and talk for a little bit. Yeah, let me just kind of get through the articles, man. Let me get a good gauge on the time. I did want to get this live stream off for today, though. Just wanted to make sure. The stock doctor. Okay. Let's see here. All right, this is from phys.org. Using drones to create local quantum networks. Okay, so we talked about after the hurricane in Puerto Rico back in, was that 2018? AT&T had tested out drone-based internet. Okay, where they just sent like a bunch of drones and they're just up hovering in the sky, right? And they just hover there, and they basically connect to create like a mesh network, right? And then you basically log into the internet through these drones that are providing this network. And then let's say the battery starts to go down on one drone, that drone one goes up and then the other one comes down, and just basically, so interesting stuff. A team of researchers affiliated with several institutions in China has used drones to create a prototype of a small airborne quantum network. In their paper published in the journal Physical Review Letters, the researchers describe sending entangled particles. I'm sorry, say that again. Researchers describe sending entangled particles from one drone to another and from a drone to the ground. Okay, we're not talking internet signals. We're talking quantum particles. Entangled particles, I'm sorry. Shout out to Will and Jada. I would consider them entangled particles. Oh, God. Computer scientists, physicists, and engineers have been working over the last several years towards building a usable quantum network. Doing so would involve sending entangled particles between users, and the result would be the most secure network ever made. As a part of that effort, researchers have sent entangled particles over fiber cables between towers and even from satellites to the ground. In this new effort, the researchers have added a new element, drones. To build a long-range quantum network, satellites appear to be the ideal solution. But for smaller networks, now this is where Mike V and kept talking about these small cube-based satellites, and these are like your own quantum networks. But for smaller networks, such as for communications between users in the same city. Another option is needed. While towers can be of some use, They are subject to weather and blockage, intentional or otherwise. To get around this problem, researchers have used drones to carry these signals. The work involved building a small laser generating device and affixing it to one of the drones. As its fired, protons were split into two, creating entangled pairs. One of the paired photons was directed toward another drone, while the other was directed to a ground station. The drone that received the entangled photon served only as the relay. After refocusing, the photon was forwarded to the third drone, which then sent it to a second ground station. Motorized vehicles were used on the drones to ensure transmitters and received line up properly. Transmitters and received line up properly for transmission of entangled photons. Holy shit. In the prototype, the photons were sent just 1 kilometer, but researchers suggest that moving the drones higher would allow for transmission over distances of up to 300 kilometers. And these are on drones. You wouldn't even need that many to set something like this up to cover a city. If each individual drone has the ability to transmit photons over distance of 300 kilometers, they suggest the technology could also be adapted to include moving vehicles on the ground. Just another way of, let's just say, managing a fleet of self-driving vehicles, for example. They further note both the drones and the ground stations could also be connected to a network that included satellites. So now you compare all this. Whoa. This is starting to get very interesting. They also point out that their work was the first to send entangled particles between two moving devices. Okay, I was about to come up with another Will and Jada joke, but it's just, I'm not going to do it. Here, I'm going to do this. And do this. And I gotta go to little boy's room. Because I was actually sitting here kind of doing some research on some stuff. And I kind of been here for I was like, crap, I gotta go live. So all right, I'm gonna go handle that. I'll be right back. Oh wait, let me pull the next article up. All right, give me 1 second, y'all. I will be right back.
Invasion. I love you. Fuck you. I love you. Fuck you.
Perto da praia, teu sorriso. Te vejo calmo me acenando. Já vou chegando. Quero voltar das águas claras. Quero saber os teus segredos. Estou te abraçando. Vim querendo te encontrar. Pra dizer quanto esperei. Vou abrir estradas de voltar. E em teu corpo azul vou descansar. Com saudade dos teus olhos.
Okay, alrighty. Okay, wait. Make sure my sound is working. Okay, yeah, it is working. All right. Okay, this one is from Engadget. Apple will build a learning hub in Atlanta as part of its racial equality pledge. It's also opening an Apple Developer Academy in Detroit. We're talking about these tech clusters, man, in majority black areas. It's like, okay, I mean, I'm just saying this isn't a bad thing, but I'm saying, like, we could also be taking the initiative to do these things, or big tech will come in and do it. Apple has shed more light on its $100 million pledge to improve racial equity. Today, the company announced that it will be making a $25 million contribution to the Propel Center, a learning hub designed for members of HBCUs. It will include a physical campus at the Atlanta University Center, a virtual platform for remote learning, and events at partner institutions' campuses. In a press release, Apple said the Propel Center will teach a variety of subjects, including AI and machine learning, app development, augmented reality, creative arts, and entrepreneurship. Apple employees will help design the curricula and offer mentorship opportunities, including internships. Apple and Southern Company are founding partners for the center. The official website reveals 6 additional partner programs, including Inroads, Vidya, Brightma Farms, and Femit Forward. Femit Forward. Okay. The center itself was designed. Give me a second. Jesus Christ. Just blew my eye. The center itself was designed by Ed Farm, which is part of the Tech Alabama nonprofit. The pair have worked before on education-focused initiatives, leveraging Apple's Everyone Can Code and Everyone Can Create curricula. In addition, Apple will be creating 2 new grants focused on HBCU engineering programs. These will help HBCU colleges of engineering to develop curricula around silicon and other technical fields. Apple will supplement this with 100 additional Apple scholars from underrepresented communities. In its press release, Apple also promised to open a first of its kind Apple Developer Academy in Detroit. It will help inspire young black people to be better creators. I almost put the word content in there. Holy shit, I'm on one right now. Okay. All right. It will help and inspire young black people to become better creators, coders, and entrepreneurs. Apple says the program will be launched in collaboration with Michigan State University and be available to anyone in Detroit, regardless of experience. The academy will comprise of two courses. The first is a 30-day introductory program, while the second is a 10 to 12-month scheme built around iOS app development and associated fields, of course, such as design and marketing. The company expects roughly 1,000 people to complete the course annually. Apple's support doesn't stop there. The company also has promised to invest $10 million in Harlem Capital, an early stage VC firm. Let's check this out. Harlem.capital. Okay. An early stage VC firm so that it can better support companies with diverse founders. Diverse founders. That's vague. I mean, I get it though. Apple will give a further $25 million to Siebert Williams Shank's Clear Vision Impact Fund, which will focus its efforts on minority-owned small and medium-sized businesses. Finally, Apple will be making an undisclosed contribution to the King Center, a living memorial to the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. Okay. Apple Chief Executive Tim Cook said, "We are all accountable to the urgent work of building a more just and equitable world." We're not going to do anything about those H-1B visas and all that stuff, but, you know, we'll talk about some other stuff. And these new projects send a clear signal of Apple's enduring environment. Lisa Jackson, Apple's Vice President of Environment Policy and Social Initiatives. Is that what, like, a social sciences degree? Is that what kind of position it gets you in tech right there? Environment, policy, and social initiatives. Added, for too long, communities of color have faced gross injustices and institutional barriers to their pursuit of the American dream, and we are proud to lend our voices and resources to build new engines of opportunity that empower, inspire, and create meaningful change. Why does it seem like you always just hear that? It's always some sort of combination of all of this gobbledygook, right? Inspire and empower and change, meaningful, create, opportunity. All right, let me stop being so damn jaded. Hey, yo. That's funny. I think that was. I think I just, you know what I did? I went and got like just like some shake. It was like some top shelf, like just nugs. It was just like a mix of like top shelf nugs. So it's a bunch of stuff. So designing my curriculum for people who want to be data analysts, data scientists, or AI engineer. That's dope. Engineering cannabis. Hey, let me know if you'll be around in a little while. I'll give you a call. We can kind of catch up on some things. Okay, let me pull up the next article. Sorry, man, I'm hitting y'all a little bit of that funk back there. All right. This one is from CNBC. Chinese driverless startup WeRide raises $310 million in funding as competition heats up. Guangzhou, Chinese driverless car startup WeRide has raised 310 million in a new round of funding as it pushes to commercialize its technology. Yutong Group, a Chinese company that manufactures commercial vehicles, including electric buses, lead the funding round. A number of other new investors jumped on board while existing venture capital firms also participated. WeRide did not disclose its valuation and declined to comment when contacted by CNBC. The Guangzhou-based firm is among a handful of companies in China vying to become a leader in driverless car technology. So they're looking to try to get in the mix here with like Waymo and everybody else. Oh, wait. Uh-oh. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Oh, wait. Okay, there it goes. The Guangzhou-based firm is among a handful of companies in China. Oh, wait. I just read that part. WeRide focuses on building the technology that enables vehicles to be autonomous rather than actually manufacture vehicles. So there's companies like Airbiquity, it was Waymo, Airbiquity, and there's a few others. And so what they do is they actually just make the technology so you can put it into a car and then so you don't have to, you can make a self-driving car from the ground up, or you can put stuff in cars to make them drive themselves. And this is what they do.
That's so.
WeRide's funding, oh shoot, really? WeRide's funding round follows a cash injection into rival Pony.ai in November, which saw the latter's valuation top $5 billion. Pony AI. Other companies, including search giant Baidu, startup AutoX, and ride-hailing firm Didi, are competing in the same space. Baidu and Didi those are Chinese companies that I'm familiar with. AutoX, never heard of them. In a press release, Tony Han, CEO of WeRide, said the funding and new investors will give the company the strategic resources to fulfill the goal of commercializing self-driving technology. In late 2019, WeRide launched a robo-taxi project in Guangzhou and has since expanded to allow users to hail a ride through Alibaba's App. Damn, butter laid. The company says it will launch trial operations for mini robo-buses on Friday. Where is Q497? I hope he's listening to this, because he and I were just on the phone talking about some stuff today. Like I said, man, just this stuff is moving. WeRide CEO Han previously told CNBC that he predicts the large-scale application of robotaxis will take place between 2023 and 2025. It is 2021 right now. He said that WeRide will begin to make money from the business in 2025. Man, I hate just feeling like, I'm just kind of on the sidelines or something. Mobileye, and this was another one. Okay, Mobileye. Okay, I have to look them up. Let's see here. Celeste Sing X, welcome. I don't know if I've ever seen you here before. Maybe if this is your first time here, welcome. Okay. Wait, where's the article on, is this it? Yeah, I did a skipsies. I'm sorry. I knew there was one more article here, because I was actually going to expound on this one. So yeah. Hold on a second. Let me. Okay, this one from Ars Technica. This is awful, man. U.S. declares Xiaomi a communist Chinese military company and bans investments. Dude, okay. Our whole entire fleet of IoT connected scooters are made by this company. So I'm like, what? Xiaomi won't suffer the suffocating supply chain bans of Huawei, at least not yet. Right about now, let me tell you something. Just I'm just gonna just kind of give you a peek into what we're doing, right? So, um, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to upgrade our fleet, right? We sold off, a portion of our fleet over the winter, trying to re-up on new fleet. As of January 21, tariffs took effect. Each unit increased like, just let's just say a lot of money, right? So we're like, crap. Okay. Parts are starting to become a little scarce. And when I check to see if, well, let's see if I still have, access or availability to, the versions that we have. We checked out like the partner store on Amazon. They had like one in stock, and we were like, oh shit. So yeah, and then Mike sent me this link. It was like a day later, and I was like, oh dude, Xiaomi's getting hammered. The latest shot in the U.S. government's war on leading Chinese smartphone vendors is directed at Xiaomi, which today has landed on the U.S. government's list of communist Chinese military companies via new executive order. The declaration makes it illegal for U.S. citizens to own Xiaomi stock. Jesus Christ. The U.S. and China have been trading blows for a year. Tell me about it. And a half over Huawei, which has added to the entity list, which has been added to the entity list by the U.S. Department of Commerce. While on the entity list, American companies can't collaborate with Huawei or export products to it. It becomes illegal for Huawei to import any product of U.S. origin. U.S. origin doesn't just mean products made in the U.S. or by U.S. companies. There is also a viral component to the law, wherein any product made internationally with some U.S. origin components also counts as U.S. origin product. While Huawei got an all-encompassing ban, it doesn't look like Xiaomi is in the same boat right now. Huawei landed on Department of Commerce's entity list, while Xiaomi is now on the Department of Defense's list of communist Chinese military companies. Oh, and Huawei's on that list too. The DoD designation seems to only ban U.S. investment in Xiaomi. I mean, okay, but you guys aren't saying anything is wrong with their scooters, so you're kind of screwing me a little bit by doing this. And any American stakeholders needed to divest their holdings by November 11th, 2021. So now you're telling me I just need to divest wholesale? Xiaomi is a public company that had an IPO back in 2018. Suffocating supply chain restrictions that apply to Huawei don't yet apply to Xiaomi. I disagree. The DoD says the list is meant to highlight and counter the People's Republic of China military civil fusion development strategy. The People's Republic of China's military civil fusion development strategy, which the government says is a plan to funnel advanced technology to the Chinese military through PRC companies, universities, and research programs that appear to be civilian entities. Okay, so if you guys can go back last year, there were a few AI Chinese firms that got hit by the government, and these firms were directly linked with like universities like Harvard and stuff. So this is like some major shit. Let's see here. I was just looking over here. Yeah. Xiaomi has issued a response on Twitter saying it is not owned, controlled, or affiliated with the Chinese military. It is not a communist Chinese military company as defined by the NDAA. The IDC has Xiaomi as the number 3 smartphone manufacturer worldwide, behind Samsung and Huawei, and a spot ahead of Apple. Like, Xiaomi is a big company and they make a lot of dope stuff. That's why it sucks, because we kind of were looking to do a whole bunch of different kinds of business with Xiaomi, but okay. Well, let's read on. Xiaomi regularly pumps out high-spec, low-cost Android phones. See, so Xiaomi makes they make good stuff at good price points. That's their thing. Phones to compete with cutthroat Chinese and Indian markets. It started out life as an Apple clone maker, but but today Xiaomi is one of the fastest movers in the industry and regularly beats bigger companies in shipping new technologies and components to the market. It shipped the world's first Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 phone, the Mi 11, and it's leading the charge in under display cameras. Being Chinese is a market advantage for Xiaomi. A company like Apple has to have US designers communicate to Chinese manufacturers across a 12-hour time zone difference. And a language barrier, while Xiaomi's Chinese designers and Chinese manufacturers can communicate more easily and quickly, allowing the company to develop products faster. That's called scaled manufacturing, folks. Okay, vertically integrated manufacturing, I should say. There you go. As Xiaomi may be the number three smartphone manufacturer worldwide, any kind of ban on the company in the US isn't going to do much. Years ago, Xiaomi gave hints about entering the US smartphone market, but it never had the stomach to go through with it and instead only launched a US version of Me.com as a seller of small accessories. Me is basically kind of like their offshoot name, Me, MI, but it's Xiaomi. So they just take the MI off of Xiaomi and just Me. Because people have a hard time saying Xiaomi. In the US, you can buy a Xiaomi Android TV box, headphones, security cameras, and battery packs, along with stranger things like air purifiers, light bulbs, and toy robots. What about the M365's kick scooter, bruh? To me, that's like the dopest thing they make is the kick scooters. Those things are badass. I don't know about the toy robots, light bulbs. I mean, they're light bulbs, right? But their scooters, I can charge them up and get a good 12, 15 miles out of them at about 12, 15 miles an hour. Okay, that's pretty good. You can basically create a rental business based on these things. You can connect them through IoT. Their scooters are rad. I don't know why they didn't mention them. You know, but I personally, my personal opinion, given that we work with Xiaomi products and basically deal with Xiaomi. I like them. I like them as a company. I think they produce for products made in China. They're if you're going to get products made in China, you get them from a company like Xiaomi, right? Like good quality products like that are made there that you wanted to brand, let's just say, or import or something like that. This is, I mean, I'm saying this without the prior knowledge here that apparently, according to the Department of Defense, it's a Chinese. I don't know about that part, but I can say that they have some pretty slick designs. I can say that. So why are they cracking down on Joe? Basically, they're saying that it's some sort of offshoot company or has something to do. It's some trade war stuff, man. It's trade war stuff and government stuff, and you know it's the same different. It's the same thing with Huawei. It's kind of the same like that, just not as much. Xiaomi's not making 5G data switches and all that kind of stuff. They're not producing that, but they're smartphones, right? So they look at that as something that could potentially be some sort of whatever. And oh, well, let me post that link. Okay. Okay, let's see here. I think that was it. I think what I'll do is, we're going ahead and covered some space and tech articles here. Again, my apologies. We were light this weekend on content because I just had like just stuff going on. Yeah. So try to get a live stream going later on this evening, maybe another Sapio live stream. Tomorrow morning, we will be doing the Black Fatherhood talks. We're going to be Johnny Blaze and I are going to be discussing estate planning. Just more fatherhood discussion. Just more discussions about as men, as fathers, what we should do to ensure that we're setting things up in a way where you know our families are going to be successful. Okay, you can't really go on all these conversations and these narratives about what it is that we or may not do, or what we don't build and what we don't create and all this kind of stuff. It's important that when we have these conversations here, we take something away where we can actually go and apply it, right? Because the more we do that, the more the more basically our actions reflect who it is that we are and who we actually are, regardless of what people have to say. Okay, you know, this we're over here. We employ a level of indifference and stoicism. We take in the information, we apply it where it's needed. Okay, and the results will then speak for themselves. You shrug your shoulders at everything, right? You shrug your shoulders at everything that speaks against who it is that you truly are and what it is that you're trying to do, what you're trying to create out here. Okay, so the estate planning conversation is just going to basically be in line with the series that Johnny Blaze and I started, discussing all the various aspects of fatherhood, and taking the initiative to create an estate for you, your children, if you're married, your family. But the bare minimum, even if it's just you as a single parent, um, you know, you want to have that for you and your children, bare minimum. And hell, well, just not to go into it too much because we're going to talk about it tomorrow. But you basically you could technically start it for yourself. You start it with yourself, and there's a way and a method to grow it out, right? As you acquire assets, as you acquire businesses, as you create, intellectual properties and stuff like that. We're gonna model a lot out tomorrow. How to really basically create create an empire. I mean, it's estate planning, but a lot of people's empires are just that, though, on paper, estates. Rich, what's going on, man? I'm just about to shut this one down for now. Basically, we had a whole slate of articles that we covered here tonight. So yeah, like I said, man, I'll return a little later this evening. Well, let me see. I'll go check on my little one. I made a lot of we're having leftovers tonight, so I don't have to make any dinner. She doesn't have any school or anything like that going on. I don't know if you guys are maybe up for an open chat for a little while. Let me see. I'll go check on her and I'll see what's going on. Maybe I'll get something like that going. But yeah, for now, man, we're gonna go ahead and just shut it down. Thank you guys for checking out the live stream here today. For those in your social media circles that kind of jive with this whole sort of space and tech talk, please feel inclined to share this. Hit the like button on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in, if you liked it. And yeah, we'll catch you guys a little bit later on. All right, peace.